You know say I don't walk. You know say I don't walk. You know say I don't walk. Now I dey pray. You know say I don't walk. You take come back. I'm back now, no me. I don't walk. Now I dey pray. I dey pray. I want see that a lot. Jesus, Jehovah Jireh. I don't send my account number. Jesus, Heavenly Father. I don't send my account number. Credit down for me. Credit down for me. Credit down for me. Hey, oh daddy, credit down for me. Abba Omega, Jehovah Jireh. I need them. That's why they ask. Shey na you say when we call you go show. I dey believe in your way, the only way. You be the way, the truth, and the life. And you know say I don't walk. Now I dey pray. I get the faith. You go credit my account, and I know you know they lie. You know they hello. Now that thing where you talk, you they do. Jesus, Jehovah Jireh. I don't send my account number. Jesus, Heavenly Father. I don't send my account number. Credit down for me. Jehovah talk and do. Credit down for me. You don't say I don't want. Credit down for me. Hey, oh daddy, credit down for me. Abba Omega, Jehovah Jireh. You know say I know they use you play, play, play. Now you say yes, nobody fit to say no, no. Now you say make I walk and pray. Answer me, cause now only you I get. And you know say I don't walk. Now I dey pray. I get the faith. You go credit my account, and I know you know they lie. You know they hello. Now that thing where you talk, you they do. Jesus, Jehovah Jireh. I don't send my account number. Jesus, Heavenly Father. I don't send my account number. Credit down for me. Jehovah talk and do. Credit down for me. You don't say I don't want. Credit down for me. Hey, oh daddy, credit down for me. Abba Omega, Jehovah Jireh. Credit down for me. You know say I don't walk. You know say I don't walk. You know say I don't walk. Now I dey pray. You know say I don't walk. You take come back. I'm back now, no me. I don't walk. Now I dey pray. I dey pray. I want see that a lot. Jesus, Jehovah Jireh. I don't send my account number. Jesus, Heavenly Father. I don't send my account number. Credit down for me. Credit down for me. Credit down for me. Hey, oh daddy, credit down for me. Abba Omega, Jehovah Jireh. I need them. That's why they ask. Shey na you say when we call you go show. I dey believe in your way, the only way. You be the way, the credit my account, and I know you know they lie. You know they no, now that thing where you talk, you they do. Jesus, Jehovah Jireh, I don't send my account number. Jesus, Heavenly Father, I don't send my account number. Credit for me. Jehovah talk and do. Credit for me. You don't say I don't want credit for me. Oh daddy, credit for me. I follow Omega, Jehovah today. Credit for me.
Hi guys, have a very good evening. I hope you are blessed, and tonight is going to be a very blessed night. Tonight I want to share a very good insight and story. I want to share a very good story, and I want to be able to encourage you today. So today is not going to be much about politics, but it's going to be more of an encouragement, an upliftment, and to let somebody know that however way you are still not going to be just anybody in this. So I just want you to share the video for our brothers and our sisters who are not here with us today or who are not watching. Um, I'll respect that you you just share the video. God bless you. Um, Louisa Sewa, I hope you're doing good. Um, yes, I hope you're doing very, very good. I can see you. Um, you can share the video. Let's all share this to our friends and our loved ones so that they can hear the word that I have for them. Today, I just want to share something with my friends, which is a story, however way you're going to call it, whether it's life or whatever you're going to call it. It's very important that we all know that life is not all about, a silver spoon in your mouth. And so, uh, you know, we have to learn how to do things. We have to learn how to, build our life. We need to learn how to grow ourselves from a certain level. We need to build our life from a certain level. However way you were born, I always say that however way you are born, it depends on your seriousness. It depends on the destiny that you have. I tell you, you can make it. There are so many people who were born, in a ditch. What I mean by a ditch, they were born in a ditch, but yet still they were able to, um, make life. If you can hear other people's stories, you are going to understand that a lot of people have come from a place, and the place they came from were very, very diabolic. They came from a family that had nothing. They came from a very poor family, and they had nothing. They were nobody. They could not even afford 3 square meals. Yeah, they were not able to even go to school and all those things. But I always say something that however way you are born, God, I can tell you, gave you a guaranteed life of success once you see things positively. And so I want us to watch a video. And this video that I'm going to show you, if you are smart, you will know where I'm coming from. And I'm going to share a life story about my own life that a lot of people don't know. So please share the video. I'm going to show you this video that will amaze you. It will just grab you and shake you and make you, big, because you know one thing, it's going to change your mindset. Trust me, this video will change your mindset because it changed mine. And I'm telling you, if you are able to how do you call it, understand what this video is all about, I'm telling you, it's going to change your mindset. I tell you, I watched this video a couple of days ago. I just watched it, but tonight I just watched the video and it hit me from a part. I just want to share my life story, where I came from. So let's watch this video real quick. Let's watch this video real quick and listen to it very carefully.
Everybody line up. Shoulder to shoulder. Take off your backpacks. Basketball, line up. We're about to race. Hey, we are racing for a $100 bill. The winner of this race will take this. A $100 bill. Before I say go, I'm going to make a couple statements. If those statements apply to you, I want you to take 2 steps forward. If those statements don't apply to you, I want you to stay right where you're at. Take 2 steps forward if both of your parents are still married. Take 2 steps forward if you grew up with a father figure in the home. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a private education. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a free tutor growing up. Take 2 steps forward if you've never had to worry about your cell phone being shut off. Take 2 steps forward if you've never had to help mom or dad with the bills. Take 2 steps forward if it wasn't because of your athletic ability. You don't have to pay for college. Take 2 steps forward if you never wondered where your next meal was going to come from. I want you guys up here in the front just to turn around and look. Every statement I've made has nothing to do with anything any of you have done. Has nothing to do with decisions you've made. Everything I have said has nothing to do with what you've done. We all know these people up here have a better opportunity to win this $100. Does that mean these people back here can't race? No. We would be foolish to not realize we've been given more opportunity. We don't want to recognize that we've been given a head start. But the reality is we have. Now, there's no excuse. They still got to run their race. You still got to run your race. But whoever wins this $100, I think it'd be extremely foolish of you not to utilize that and learn more about somebody else's story. Because the reality is, if this was a fair race and everybody was back on that line, I guarantee you some of these black dudes would smoke all of you. And it's only because you have this big of a head start that you're possibly going to win this race called life. That is a picture of life, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing you've done has put you in the lead that you're in right now. When I say go, on your mark, get set, go! If you didn't learn anything from this activity, you're a fool. Line up. Everybody line up.
I'm going to start this video again so that you can hear it very well.
Shoulder to shoulder. Take off your backpacks. Basketball. Line up. We're about to race. Hey, we are racing for a $100 bill. The winner of this race will take this. A $100 bill. Before I say go, I'm going to make a couple statements. If those statements apply to you, I want you to take 2 steps forward. If those statements don't apply to you, I want you to stay right where you're at. Take 2 steps forward if both of your parents are still married. Take 2 steps forward if you grew up with a father figure in the home. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a private education. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a free tutor growing up. Take 2 steps forward if you've never had to worry about your cell phone being shut off. Take 2 steps forward if you've never had to help mom or dad with the bills. Take 2 steps forward if it wasn't because of your athletic ability, you don't have to pay for college. Take 2 steps forward if you never wondered where your next meal was going to come from. I want you guys up here in the front just to turn around and look. Every statement I've made has nothing to do with anything any of you have done. Has nothing to do with decisions you've made. Everything I have said has nothing to do with what you've done. We all know these people up here have a better opportunity to win this $100. Does that mean these people back here can't race? No. We would be foolish to not realize we've been given more opportunity. We don't want to recognize that we've been given a head start. But the reality is we have. Now, there's no excuse. They still got to run their race. You still got to run your race. But whoever wins this $100, I think it'd be extremely foolish of you not to utilize that and learn more about somebody else's story. Because the reality is, if this was a fair race and everybody was back on that line, I guarantee you some of these black dudes would smoke all of you. And it's only because you have this big of a head start that you're possibly going to win this race called life. That is a picture of life, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing you've done has put you in the lead that you're in right now. When I say go, on your mark, get set, go! If you didn't learn anything from this activity, you're a fool.
Yes, rather unfortunate, guys. It's rather unfortunate. I just want to share this with you. And why I want to share this is because, boom, we share video now. Ubehu and some phobia, Papa Nikai. You're going to see the very sensible things this man was saying. Why did I pick this video? Because it reminds me of me. I picked this video because this story reminds me of me. You understand why I'm saying that? And when you come from a home where there is no way you can be able to succeed, when you come from a home with, like, 12 siblings, where there's always a struggle with food, with clothes, with school, with money, with everything, with success, it's a competition amongst 12 children. Who's going to succeed? Who's going to get what? Who's going to do what? And how they're going to do it. However way you're going to do it, you don't know. Now, I'm going to make a story out of myself and make a story out of some people that I know that, I knew in Ghana, not to spite them, but to just encourage you and let you understand that, however way, wherever, however you are born, whichever type of level or which kind of level you were born, whether born on a hill, whether born in a valley, whether born in a ditch, whether born in hell, whether or not you were born rich, whether you're born here and there, however way, it is still your decision. It is still your choice to choose whether or not you want to be successful. I have seen people that were born into a home with struggles, with nothing, with parents not so well endowed, with money or not rich, but with struggles, with perseverance, with seriousness, with hard work, with very terrible, instances and examples of life. Listen, still, these people were able to succeed in life. Now, I'm going to put together a Rambo style, scenes that I want you to understand, okay? This is not practice. I'm just using my words. I can make a mistake here and there, but I'm just trying to do a Rambo style delivery, all right? Now, listen. When I was growing up, I had a good home. I was from a very good home. I went to best schools, okay? I went to best schools. I think one of the schools that I went to that I would say that was not a very good school was a school called La Bawaleshi Presby Primary, all right? Okay, now, so my mom took me to that school so that I will be in line. So that I can get into Achimota school. Because mommy did not want me to stay home, just wait for like 6 months or a year or whatever, just to stay home and just do nothing. So mom said, you know what, I'm going to find you a school close here. Whether or not it's a good school or it's not a good school, I'm still going to put you in there for you to be able to get yourself busy. Okay, now this is what happened to me. I went there with actually somebody I called my brother now. His name is Kingsley Boahene. Okay, now Kingsley was my very good friend when we were growing up. All right, and excuse my language, Kingsley had, a big family. His dad was not too endowed. Okay, and I think the dad was an old soldier, okay? And the mom was a seamstress. And let me tell you something about these parents, because I saw them, face to face. I had dealt with them. They had dealt with me face to face, okay? Now let me tell you this. These parents that I saw, the parents of Kingsley, were so humble. Listen, so humble. The father wasn't the kind of father that even really talks, okay? He wasn't really a person that talks. He was a gentleman. The mother the same way. She was a praying woman. And let me tell you something. And I know if Kingsley hears this story that I'm giving, he will probably cry or he will probably laugh or he'll probably give me a thumbs up for sharing the story, because it is very important that sometimes we share a good story. All right. I'm not trying to let Kingsley down or whatsoever, but I'm just trying to let you understand where I am coming from. Okay. Now, my mother was very rich. Let me put it that way. If I wouldn't say rich, I would say she was okay. At least she had a house in Islegon. Okay. And Kingsley's mother and father, let me show you where they used to live. Okay, I'll show you where they used to live. They used to live in Manprobi. There's a place that you call, it's when it floods, when it rains, that whole place gets messed up. The house in which they live in, you could see when you stand down, you could see that it is so wet. It gets wet when you stand, when it rains and you see the house is wet, and the footstone on which you are going to step for you to get out or to come in was raised to this level. And so when you climb the steps, you climb the steps, and then you climb another steps to get in even deeper, and then you go to the house. Okay. And and Kingsley was so humble at that moment too. And Kingsley had sisters and brothers that they were all growing. I wouldn't basically say they were struggling to the extent where they could not live right. No, that's not what I'm saying. But they had a way they had to do their life. Okay. And Kingsley, being determined, coming from a very poor home, mother doesn't like to talk too much, father doesn't like to talk too much, and I was so stuck and joined with Kingsley to the extent that I'm always out there with Kingsley. I never stayed home. After school, I go look for Kingsley, we go and play football, and we go around, because there was nothing really that Kingsley had to do at home. Number one, because Kingsley had sisters that will do cooking and all that, and the cleaning and all that. So Kingsley always could go out, play ball, or whatever it is. And likewise, my mother, at the moment, I was staying with my stepfather as well, Mr. Frimpong. May he so rest in peace. The man that I love so much. He passed away, I think last year or last 2 years, what was somewhere, he passed away. And then, at the rate at which I was going out, my mother thought that Kingsley was letting me stay out too much. Because sometimes I just get out and I just go and play ball, and we go and do alikoto, dikos, pilolo, and you just imagine, chaskele. We go in there, we go and play chaskele. Sometimes we gang up, we walk the far distance, and then we go and play ball with the team, and it's just a whole mess, And I used to be the goalkeeper. If I wasn't a goalkeeper, I was going to be the number 5, because I was big, I had the body, and I was strong, and people were afraid of me when I'm the goal post or when I'm playing defense. That's okay. So let's go back to Kingsley's issue. We know that Kingsley was impoverished with not going to the best school, having the best clothes. Even though Kingsley, one thing I love Kingsley is Kingsley did not have the best clothes. He did not have the most nice clothes. Sometimes Kingsley will wear clothes that are torn and everything. But Kingsley was not dirty. Kingsley was neat and clean. You could see his feet. You could see that Kingsley's feet was so clean. You could see that the only thing that was wrong, he didn't wear dirty clothes either, but he didn't have a lot of clothes and good clothes. We didn't have clothes. We didn't have clothes. We didn't have everything. We had everything that there was. When there was no TV, my parents had color TV, movies and all those things that I were watching and all that. And so most of the time, these kids that are around that were not fortunate as we were came to our house, and we had a very big house at Manprobi. And then all these kids are always in our house, and we're always playing. We had Owari, we had Ludus, we had footballs, we had everything that every child must have to be happy. But guess what? We were not happy I, for one, was not happy. For some reason, I will tell you later, but I always loved playing with Kingsley and these guys. We go around. Sometimes I won't even wear shoes when they are also not wearing shoes. And I just walk with them long distances, no shoes, dirty clothes. Like we go and play ball, we are dirty and all that. And I just put myself in the place where I could fit in with them. So mommy said, the way Kwame is just going out, is out all the time, is out all the time. Let's see who keeps him out. And so mommy said, okay, you know what? If Kingsley is his friend, why don't you bring Kingsley home? Let's see who Kingsley is. All right? I'm just building a story, okay? I'm building a story. I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. It's not going to be about politics today. I told you, politics is not my core mandate, okay? All right? This is what I do. This is what God brought me to do. So, Kingsley one day was invited, and my dad, my stepdad, and my mom was sitting in the living room, and they asked Kingsley to come in. And our living room was so nice and so beautiful. And because Kingsley was so respectful and was afraid, did not know exactly what was going to happen, when Kingsley started walking inside the room to come and see my mother, Kingsley went on his knees. I can't remember. I will not forget that. Kingsley went on his knees and started, crawling and knelt down to go and talk to my parents. And then, you know what? When my mother and my father saw Kingsley, they was like, oh, are you Kwame's friend? He said, yes. My brothers, Bermaya, Sapon, Kweku, and all that, they were there, and they saw the whole scene. And then my mom said, okay, you can come here all the time and come and play. You can come and eat. You can come and sleep here if you want, and all that. And, we started making that friendship even deeper. And so it was about time for us to move to East Legon because our East Legon house was ready. So my mother called Kingsley's mother and said, you know what? We want to take Kingsley with us. I'm yet to ask my mother why she made that decision. Whether or not Kingsley being my friend will bring a little challenge to me to be more responsible or whatever. I don't know. Maybe one day I should ask my mother that, right? And then all of a sudden my mom said, you know what? We want to take you to our new house. Called the mom and told the mom, we want Kingsley to come with us. We're going to our new house in East Legon and want Kingsley to be part of us. And so Kingsley became a part of us. And we went to our new house in East Legon together. Actually, we shared a room. Me and Kingsley shared a room together. My junior brothers were already in Achimota Primary. They were already in Achimota Primary. And, my mom wanted me to also go to Achimota Primary, but there was no space, there was no seat for me to get into Achimota Primary by that time. So what happened was that Kingsley and I were enrolled into a village school close to us. I mean, it's a little ways to walk, but maybe 5 miles or whatever, maybe less, maybe more, So we went to school, and then that school, being as a village school, rather brought my morale up as a leader. And the school was Bawaleshi Primary, Presby Primary, or something. Yeah, that's actually the name of the school. I'm sure whether it's Presby or just Primary. And then when we went to the school, there were seniors there before us. So that was our 5th grade, which is class 5, actually, to class 6. So we're in class 5, the last moment to class 6. So we were there, and actually, teachers seeing how endowed we are, I was vouching for school prefectship. And, some way, somehow, Kingsley managed, because Kingsley was, the quiet type. Kingsley was the quiet type. And, I had the attitude where I'm eloquent, fluent, and I won't say disrespectful, but I was kind of upfront. I wasn't afraid to say anything. but Kingsley was reserved. So when we're talking about they were trying to elect us as school prefectship and all that, I thought I was going to be the school prefect because I was doing the work of the school prefect. But because I was hard on the students, they were afraid of me. But they thought, well, Kingsley should be the school prefect, then I will be the grounds prefect and our Greek prefect. So that was what happened. So I started my leadership skills from that village school because I was born from a good home, because we were from a good home, we showed up a lot of leadership qualities. And so we were led and were put for the forefront for leadership. So after we finished that village school, Kingsley chose to go to the senior secondary school of the same primary. And I went to Achimota Primary. Okay, now here is the secret between this is I'm saying. Kingsley was not my blood brother, okay? He's not my blood brother. He became my brother because we were friends and we went out a lot. But let me put it and be honest here. Kingsley was firm. Kingsley was, serious. Kingsley was obedient. And I took the advantage of me being a child of my mother and Kingsley was not, even though we did the same work. But Kingsley carefully obeyed more than I did because I was very close to my mother, in the sense, whatever, I can play around a little bit, but Kingsley took everything serious. Okay, so Kingsley coming from a very poor home with no hope, right? Me coming from a very good home, which Kingsley and I became one. So I was from a good home. Kingsley was from a poor home. Kingsley was older than me 1 year. Kingsley was older than me 1 year. But we were, on the same page, the same age and everything. We had our good moment. We fought sometimes. Sometimes we fight. He beats me. And the other time we fight and I beat him, depending on strategy or whoever is lucky at that moment. You know what I'm saying? And we fought. And so my story is, and all that I want to tell you is, okay, Kingsley, me after junior high, I went to a senior high. After Kingsley's junior high, he went to a school called OIC. I've forgotten the full name, but it's something. It was a school that they were thought it was a vocational school, basically. OIC vocational school, basically. So Kingsley chose to do cooking. Okay, Kingsley chose to do cooking. I wasn't around by that because I've gone to my dad around that moment. So Kingsley went to school for cooking and doing all those things. And let me tell you, the Kingsley that was from a poor home did not give up. Kingsley never gave up. Kingsley went to school to learn cooking, catering. Let me put it that way so that it will be more. So Kingsley became a caterer. He started very hard. I saw when mommy was buying him some of the cooking utensils and all those things. So Kingsley became a cook. He went to other schools for hospitality. Kingsley coming from a poor home. I tell you this. Kingsley began seeing money before I started studying money. If I am not wrong, Kingsley might have seen money than I did. Now, my take on Kingsley, my equality, my stage of becoming very equal with Kingsley that came from the poor family was because God opened the door for me to travel again. But Kingsley was traveling, seeing people, meeting people, connections, and seeing money, got married, and all those things that Kingsley was doing, hard work. But he was only in a catering school. He went to OIC. But that guy never, ever, ever gave up one day because he knew where he was coming from. Kingsley came to visit me in the United States, I think 2017, 2018, or either one of them, 2019, that one of them. Kingsley came and visited me. He got his 5 years visa, came here. Kingsley don't even have time. He had 5 years visa. He doesn't even have time to travel. Like, to come in. Okay, now, not that he doesn't have time to travel. Kingsley doesn't have time to travel or time to waste for a leisure travel, to travel and just have a vacation. He didn't have time. He became a very busy man. He started running hotels. He started running, you just name it. Managing big companies, being a boss, like over big people, traveling to South Africa to have courses and everything. Kingsley, the last time I was updated about Kingsley, we spoke. Kingsley had built his own house, a story building that he has not yet even finished. He has his own car, he has his kids, and he plays golf. And he's 43. For Christ's sake, even in America, which people play golf? Old people who are retired and have their own money. He plays golf from a very poor home. Very, very poor home. If I tell you where Kingsley has been for that job, that school, that catering school that he went, and how that lifted him. I won't even say that lifted him, because even if he went to catering school and he did not practice seriousness or become strong in his decision making, he will still lose. But till now, he's running his own business. He's doing well. I will not say that every man will do well all along, or you just keep climbing. It's ups and downs in life. But, I'm saying this for you so that you know that it does not matter where you were born. It does not matter who gave birth to you. It does not matter at all the mother or the father who gave birth to you. All that matters is remembering that you have a duty to become somebody to elevate your poor home. Or to look at your mother and say, my mother is poor, my father is poor, there is nobody to take care of my siblings. And so that puts me in a spot where I will just rise up to the occasion and be serious in every decision that I will make, because it depends on my life. So when you live with somebody, or when you have somebody living with you, do not separate them by, affiliation, saying, oh, where they me back, where they assume back, where they are boy, ain't me there, me fino. Destiny is not about that. Destiny is what you make out of every day of your life. It's two things. It's either you work hard today while you are young, or work harder when you are old. That is my lifestyle. I work hard now, I relax tomorrow. So Kingsley, lived a very desperate life for success where he never played with his life, where he never just did any stupid thing. But some of the kids that are from good homes take things for granted. Excuse me. Take things for granted. Play with their life. And then because their father is rich, because their mother is rich, they play. But I'll tell you, one thing that I realized in life is what your father gives you after he's gone does not last. The riches of your father or your parents are not as strong as what you worked for. What is given to you as excess only comes to add to you, but does not make you fulfilled unless you were fulfilled before excess was given to you. So don't crave for something when you are not fulfilled. Be fulfilled and get excess. But when you don't have what you gain, you cannot be able to get what somebody has. Your responsibility level will not grant anybody to give you what you are asking for, especially when it comes to what somebody is giving you. So guys, my basic point of life is that you need to understand that life today may seem hard. Life tomorrow may seem very easy. It is life. That is how life is. When you watch the video that I showed you, you realize that the man said, how many of you, they were all teenagers. He said, how many of you did not have to worry that your cell phone bills were going to be turned off or your cell phone bills were going to be paid by your parents? So what the man actually was saying to the kids is that which of you did not have to worry about your phones being shut off because of non-payment of bills? Let me put it this way. And a lot of these kids jumped forward. There were still some back there. And they asked, how many of you have your mother and your father or your parents are still together? A lot of these people just jump forward. How many of you have to work to pay your own college bills? Or how many of you don't have to worry about your college bills being paid? A lot of them jump forward. And there were black kids in there. And there were white kids in there. Now let me tell you, people say a lot of the time that we black people are lazy and not hardworking. You could be right at a certain point. And some of us also say that white people are lazy and they get everything given to them to some extent. But I will not agree that white people get given everything. Let me point it straight blank to you. Some white people that I have worked with are damn serious workers. I'm telling you. Yes, some of them like to backbite. Some of them like to lie about people. But I am telling you, most of the people that I have worked with that are Caucasians, let me tell you, are serious workers. There are certain times when you see my supervisors put their hands in trash, which I would not do. I've seen some workers lay on the bare floor where there is rain splash on the floor, where there are dirt on the floor. Some have laid on the ground just to get what they are doing done. So I do not agree when people say white people get given anything that they want. It's a lie. The white race only are taught to stay and keep a job. And number two, they are not selfish parents. Let me tell you this. They are not selfish parents. And I'm going to tell the reason why I'm telling you white parents are not selfish parents. You can like it or you cannot like it. But I'm telling you what I've learned. And I'll tell you whatever I have to tell you once it's true. Okay? All right. I went to school for locksmithing. And this will break your heart. This will break your heart. Right? I went to a school for locksmithing to fix doors, door keys, car keys, any lock. So I'm a professional locksmith. I work on keys. But let me tell you this. It will break your heart. I almost cried about this. All right? Now, the whole entire school of about 500 students going to school, only trade school. Now, these are the courses they do: HVAC, electricals, plumbing, just name it. You all trade that you can think about, metal working, carpentry. You just name all of it, locksmithing and all that, right? Listen, I'm sorry to break your heart. I don't mean to break your heart, but I'm telling you, I was the only black boy in that freaking entire school altogether. One looked black, but he wasn't black. He was Spanish. He wasn't as dark as me, but he was almost dark. If you look at him from afar, you're going to say he's a dark person, but when it comes close to you to talk to you, you're going to realize that he's a Spanish guy. All right? Now, can you imagine a whole school of about 500 students, and every trade that was in the school was filled with Caucasians and some Spanish? That should break your heart. That should break your heart. That should break your heart. But you see, people will say, oh, white people, they always get their way. They always have what they need. Their parents always give them that. Their parents give them that. They have a privilege of this. They have a privilege of that. They have a privilege of this and that and this and that and this and that. But I'm sorry to tell you, if you are a black man, if you are a Spanish guy, and you are saying these things, I say, please change your mindset and learn from the winner. I'm telling you, if you learn from the ways of the ant, surely you shall be wise. Because the school was filled with only Caucasian people. No, the school does not select people who should come to trade school. If they were selecting, there was no reason why I should be there. There was no reason why I should be there in that school. Because there were so many Caucasian people. There were so many Caucasian people in electrical, in plumbing, in HVAC, in whatever. I was the only black man in that school of 500 students and young men doing locksmith. So what does that tell you? We are not ready as black people to better ourselves, to upgrade our life. But if you don't upgrade your life, there is no way you can rub shoulders with a guy that went to school for trade and has become a master technician, has become a master plumber, has become a master, electrician, has become a journeyman or whatsoever, or has become a handyman that can do everything in the house, that has a license to pull anything, to do any contract. You can never do that. And if you're not careful, even if you join such a person that has become a master masonry or a master technician or a master electrician, if you work as a laborer for these people, you will think they are shabby, they are crazy, they are disrespectful, they are not nice, but that is not what it is. What it is that the attitude that they have in the head, why they went to school and what they want to achieve in life today and what they're achieving, you don't have that thinking, that master thinking, that heart. And so when they are telling you to do something, you would think that they hate you because you are black, because you are Spanish. But the attitude of a manager or a boss is different from the attitude of the laborer. A laborer is not equal to his master. So if anything, we need to understand that we need to better ourselves, go to school, and then we might be on the same page. And number two, I said, these parents, these Caucasian people that we talk trash about, yes, don't get me wrong, some are very racial. It is not going to change. That is part of life. Don't kill yourself because of that. Yes. Don't kill yourself because you meet a white person that is a racist. We have so many racists out there, but I am telling you, nothing would a white man say to me racially that will really kill me. Yeah, I may have to report you because it's illegal to do that, but it doesn't hurt me. Because number one, I'm a serious guy at the work I do. I'm very serious when I want to work. I'm working. I'm serious at it. And my bosses know that I'm serious when it comes to my work. I will work, 14 days in a week without getting tired. But they have an attitude of helping each other. We also need to have an attitude of helping each other. A Caucasian man or a Caucasian brother will just buy a car knowing that in 5 years or 6 years, he would have to give that car to his daughter or to her daughter or son so that he will buy his dream car. But what will your father do as a black man? He's barely keeping a car. He barely keeps a home or an apartment. And he does not think about the future and say, you know what? I'm thinking about my children, that they will come and they'll have to have this house. They'll have to have my car. My car I use now. When my son gets 17 or 18, I have to give my car to my son. But my son would have to struggle to be able to get a car, either to buy or to find money to buy or to lease to own or to go for a bank loan to buy a car. But let me tell you, most Caucasians know that they have to give a head start to their children. They need to help their children to have a good start of life. But our parents don't think like that. Okay? They don't think like that. But if we all come together and say, I have to build a good life for my children. I need to think ahead for my children. I need to save money to give to my child to pay their college education. A lot of Caucasian brothers go to work and make sure their kids are in college and pay their college fees. But some of us, we make our children go to school paying their own tuition because that's what we went through. But that is not the way it's supposed to be. So your child will come from how do you call it? Your child will come from wherever and go for a loan, get a car, start work, already have a loan, go to college with a lot of loan, with a lot of money to pay back later. But most Caucasian people make sure they help their children to college, to work, lifetime, to get their kids in college. It does not matter how much they go to school. He makes sure his kid is in college. He makes sure he pushes them. The ones that cannot help their kids to go to college, he pushes them into trade school. And you know, trade school has a lot of money. Black folks, let's not keep dreaming. Let's come out. Let's stand firm. Let's rise up and begin to work. Let's learn from the ant, the ways of the ant that comes out in the summertime and looks for food and goes to heap it, hide it, and secures themselves when it's winter time, because it's going to be difficult for them to find food, because it's going to be winter. The ground is going to be full of snow. There's going to be lack of food. The same way the ant knows that there will be days that are going to be difficult days where food is going to be difficult. Same way comes that a man has to understand that there's going to be difficult times in life that we need to prepare. Life is about seasons and times. And that is how God created the world. Seasons and times. And times and seasons. Seasons are there to bring us to the place we have to go. But time is when we have to wait, exercise patience, and get what we need, instead of going to rob, going to kill, going to destroy, taking what does not belong to us, and destroying other people's life. Black on black crime has risen up. Why must black people kill black people over stupid things that could be talked over? Beloved, I'm saying, if you are a father and you have children, try your very possible best and live your life in a way that your children will be safe in life. It is not, your children are not going to be the same children if you leave them a home that is already paid for. Your children are not going to suffer anymore if you are able to give them a car that they can run as theirs without paying a car note or taking a loan from the bank for them to drive that car for 10 years before they can be able to save money to buy their own car. That is stepping the child up. That is pushing your child. That's being able to put your child in a comfortable living zone where your child has the time to do other things than to take a loan for a car, take a loan for school, and all that. And that is the reason why some white folks are leading. It's because they push their kids in school. They help their children. They invest in their children. Now, let me put this to this side and bring politics. Let's compare our country, Ghana, and compare America. Okay? Let's see how, I'm not going to mention names. Let's see how Americans run their economy. Let's see how Americans run their country. Let's see how Africans also run their country. That should tell you how weak our mindset sometimes can be. That shows how evil and negative our mindset and our leaders are. But American people made the country and the state in which they are a state and a system that runs the company, that everybody knows that the law-abiding citizen shall be free and the law-breaking citizen shall be in trouble. But guess what? In our country, the law-abiding citizen is in trouble and the law-breaking citizen is free. One person can take money and squash it. One person can take money from a foreign company, a foreign government, and dubiously hurt his own country, not thinking about the repercussions of tomorrow. Why are we poor even though we have gold? Why are we poor? We have gold. Why are we poor when we have bauxite? Why are we poor when we have gas? We have oil. Why are we poor when you can throw corn, a seed of corn, into the soil without even putting it in deep into the soil, and within 3 months you will be breaking that corn and eating it. In America, it is not like that. The soil is not as fertile as our African soils are. Yet, we still import things from other countries. We have a land that is fertile, but we are hungry. We have a country that our breeze, we have good people in the country, yet people are dying, people are killing each other, and government are stealing from the poor and oppressing the poor. So some of us respect America because America gave us a chance to be able to shine. America gave me the chance to be able to sit here. I can right now sit down and call Donald Trump and cuss him out. I can insult Donald Trump. I can insult Pence. I can say whatever I want about any person I want to say because of freedom of speech. But I want to ask you one question. Our country today, our African leaders, do they respect freedom of speech? No. When you speak the truth, they seek to kill you. They seek to eliminate you. They seek you to put you in a very tight corner where you are going to reverse your statements. You have to run for your life once you speak the truth. The state of our country, Africa. The state of our country, Africa, where leaders want to be in power forever. The state of our country, where police works for the president, where military commanders work for the president, where the judiciary work for the president, where police work for the president, where all other institutions work for the president. So once the president is in power, the institutions work for him. There's no autonomous institution in Africa that sits on its own without being able to defy the president's order, knowing that they are an autonomous, governing body. The state of our African land, the state of our motherland, a country of tyrants and wicked men. People that oppress their own, people that kill millions because of power, people that will seek to destroy, to rig elections, to kill and to destroy and to fight people who are innocent for no reason. This is the state of our motherland. Comparing America to Ghana is impossible. But it could have been possible if our leaders learn and become straight and become honest. When are we going to get leaders in Africa that are straight like Kagame? When and where? When can we get men of God in our country that are selfless and not in there to take money, not there to go and rob people with hands binded to their backs and taking their money and lying to them and committing so many heinous crimes? When would Mother Africa rise up? When would Mother Africa come again? When would Mother Africa realize that what Mother Nature gave to Africa was the best that he gave to us? What God gave to America was not the best. Their lands, you need extra, chemical formatted soils to grow tomatoes, chemical formatted soil to grow pepper, chemical formatted soils. Why do you think GMO came? Their soils, they make GMO some way, somehow, to be able to plant GMO, whether the soil is good, whether the soil is bad, so that their soil can be able to plant it once it's put in the soil. We do not need GMO in Africa. Wherever you plant anything in Africa, it germinates and it produces the blessed motherland. The blessed motherland, full of wicked leaders, full of wicked mothers, full of wicked fathers. full of leaders that do not know they are supposed to be taking care of the land, full of men and women that do not understand how they should help their children up, full of friends and siblings that are wicked, that don't even care about their own siblings, and they don't mind to kill their own siblings for properties left by their father and their parents. Go to an African American funeral where parents have died and left them a home, or where they have an apartment where they have to go and clean the apartment after their grandmother or their mother died or their father died. They don't have to need a will. They don't have to write a will. Americans don't write a will. They usually don't write a will. The ones that write wills are the rich people that need to get it clear who that belongs to, who this is going to be for, or who that is for. But usually, I'm going to encourage you, rich men who own their own companies, they are not the real owners. They have partners. So you cannot will your partner's property for your children. Maybe your shares. But in Africa, when you put a CEO in charge of something that belongs to the government, they steal. They try to take money. They try to have every opportunity that they are going to have just to enrich them own selves. Why? How was the African created? On which purpose was the African created? On which soil was an African created? Or which mindset was the African created? Is this the pressure? Was that the pressure that the Caucasian people put on our great-great-grandparents that affected us? No, we didn't go through it. Our great-great-grandparents went through it. We must not live on that dream. We must not live on that troubles they went through. We must live our life today as if we need to get our life straightened out. Our life is being crumbled. Even though the white man, the imperialist, left us alone to rule our own country, we still have not been able to run our country as our property. The best yet president, I will mention his name, that did much for Mother Ghana, is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, that selflessly built Ghana. I have seen the work of Kwame Nkrumah today. If not anything at all, the Kwame Nkrumah highway, the Temamoto way that Kwame Nkrumah did so many years ago. Which motorway else has been made that was as durable, as better as Kwame Nkrumah's road, the Temamoto way? There's no road like Kwame Nkrumah's motorway ever. Kwame Nkrumah saw that he needed to make Ghana an industrialized country. He built factories and jobs and companies and warehouses and everything that the Ghanaian economy will stand firm on to create jobs for its people. Where are all these things? Mother Ghana now then called the Gold Coast when we had a highway, when we had a motorway that was as beautiful and as durable and still functioning, still serving Ghana. That was built years back, is still serving Ghana. Roads that were built 5 years ago are destroyed, are distracted, are messed up. What happened? Was it a dilution? What happened? Kwame Nkrumah was born as we were all born. I feel bad for the motherland. I feel bad for the African country. I feel bad for our leaders. No matter how you were born, no matter where you were born, I'm telling you, if you take your life as Kingsley took his life, I am telling you, your life will be the best. Entino so biti wunchanya hweniye na dachi Unim de nipa ne baba ye wo wiase. So obi ba e wo nchen a hwe ne yie. So obi enua e wo nchen a hwe ne yie. So unua bi ba wo nchen a hwe ne yie and teach obi ba, because I'm telling you, so we obi die yie a wo die be yie. Wo say obi die no wanya obi die a wo so die enye yie da. If I was God, and I was told to give children to women, do you know the criteria of which I would give children to women? If I was God, that I've been asked to give 500 women children, do you know the criteria? As wicked as I am, I will use the criteria I will use to give children to the women that come before me. I will look at how far you have been to school, how matured you are, how well you will take care of your children, how many houses you have built, how many relationships you have. And I'll check all these things, the money in your account, your psychological thinking. I will ask all those questions. So that means I will only look at the rich people who have lived right to give them children. But the poor that have nothing will not get children from me, because my judgment will be they will not have money take care of the children. They will not be responsible enough to give their children what they need. They will not be responsible enough to push their children because they have nothing accomplished. But that is not the way God thinks. God gives as he wills. God gives as he wills. And everyone's destiny is different. One destiny will struggle harder before attaining A. One destiny will not struggle at all to have A. And one destiny will also struggle half and half to have what A has. And one will not do anything at all, but will still have what A has. Everybody have their destiny that God gave to them. I encourage you today, wherever you are today, whatever struggles you are going through, I encourage you, change your mindset. Change your attitude, change the way you think, change the way you calculate things, and forge forward. Even when you don't believe you can get it, I'm telling you, fight for it. Try hard. When you fall, rise up again. I was deported from America to Ghana. 2007. I almost gave up. I didn't live the right life. But God, knowing my destiny, he let me come back to restructure myself in this country. And that has helped me over a lot of my mates that are back home. I want to share with you that destiny is not by any man. Your father could be rich, and that does not make you automatically rich because your father was rich. The attitude of your father and the things your father had, that the graces that was on your father is not the same grace that is upon you. The fact that you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth does not mean that you will always have a silver spoon. Somebody may be born with a gold spoon in their mouth, but I'm telling you, along the way, decisions and too much talking will let them lose that silver or gold spoon in their mouth. And when your spoon falls off, it becomes very dirty. And if you're not careful, somebody behind you will take your spoon and become worthier. So I'm saying, everything that you do from today, change your mindset. You can be able to do anything that you want to do once you put your head to it. Not only your head, but once you are able to put prayer and dedication to it, I'm telling you, and you make a step, I am telling you, you will be able to make it. The fact that you did not get your father to give you capital to become somebody does not mean that your father had to give you capital. There are some people that God blessed that they didn't need the push of men, but they needed a push only of God. Just like Moses. Just like Abraham. Abraham was in a house where his father was an idolater. But God wanted him out of that land, and he prospered when he left. Moses was from a poor home, but God took him through to a rich home to be able to learn and learn from there and taste the rich life, taste the life of a prince. After he was getting so comfortable, God threw him out, took him back to the wilderness that he never knew. After he was born and he was taken to the palace of the Egyptians, became a prince. Do not forget that he became so comfortable, he forgot where he came from. And when he forgot where he came from, and he became so comfortable, what happened? He kills one of the masters, and then he was driven out of Egypt. He had to run away. So as he ran away, it means that God, after giving him that comfortable life, that sweet prince life, the way that the Pharaoh loved him even over his own son, Ramses, God threw him out after the sweet life to go out there and struggle before, after sweet life, there's sometimes bitter life. Or it's either you choose your bitter life first and have your sweet life in the end. But I always say the end of the thing is better than its beginning. You can be rich in the beginning, but if you die poor, you have failed. But if you're poor in the beginning and you died rich, and your children's children are enjoying because of your hard work, you have won the biggest race of your life. Bible says, the father who leaves inheritance for his children's children is a good father. Let's work hard as black people. If we have to learn from white people some of their good ways, please, let's be humble and learn from them. Take some of the ways they do. A Caucasian brother will save and save and save and save and save, and at the end, buy a good home and retire and just have a comfortable life. Let's learn. Let's be sweet. Let's be less violent over things that are not necessary. Let us control ourselves the way we pull out guns and we shoot at people for no reason. Let us stop taking contract of killing people, our own people, and start building ourselves and loving each other. And I bet there will be a change of that black race where we think that there's no hope for us. There is hope. 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 Because there was no hope for me. I was deported and I had no hope until God gave me the hope that I needed. And I came back to America and I worked and I work and I work and I work and I work. Do not forget, if you need a locksmith, somebody to do your locks for you, to change your locks, to reprogram your locks, don't forget to call me or inbox me. Okay? Let's live and have a positive life. Let's show more love. Where there is a place where you are right and somebody is tempting you, please, please, and just walk away. We can do better. We can do right. We can change our destiny today. I love you guys. Sorry for keeping you too long. And all those that stayed on here with me, I thank you. I bless you. I'm saying that. Bless you. Louisa came on. Louisa, thank you for coming. Nanama Ejewa also showed up, came. Nanama, God bless you. Tina also came around. Tina, God bless you. Focused Man says, life is a teacher. Yes, thank you, Focused Man. I'm going to like what you said. And I'm going to like Nanama Jewa also. And Focus, you also said something, exactly words. Yes, Focus, thank you very much for coming to listen to me. God bless you. And let's share the video so that others will also learn from our mistakes. I thank you. I love you. And I'm going to give you an applause for listening to me. I'm giving you an applause for listening to me today. Okay? This is your applause. This is your applause for listening to me today. God bless you. God bless you. And again, share the video. And I'll be back here tomorrow again to give you another exhortation. Thank you. And God bless you.